Hey everyone, sorry I'm so late on these ones. I got this one and then Survivor review coming soon. I want to get these out before I do my ultimate yearly reality TV ranking, which will be coming up within the next couple weeks at some point. The holiday season's been pretty hectic, obviously, so I took a good break from recording all videos pretty much for a couple weeks. And so that's why I didn't get these out as soon as they were most relevant. But I want to briefly talk on them. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. Um, the Amazing Race, season 38. This was the All Big Brother season and tagline European Adventure, which I think is one of the lamest parts of the season, honestly. Why are we limited? Is there an actual reason they were limited to Europe? Because unless there was, there really isn't. There's no charm to like, oh, European Adventure, because usually the norm for Amazing Race is just more of the world. So it's not like, ooh, we get stuck in smaller portion of the world rather than anything goes. So, okay, but that's just one thing. Uh, Big Brother going into the season. I am a Big Brother fan. I watch every season, so I knew all the people going into this. And honestly, I gotta be honest with you, I was not a fan of the cast going in. There was just like a lot of questionable choices, and then a couple like the alternates that I know about. I was like, man, these would have been more fun than some of the ones we got here. But and then just some weird pairings, like everybody was a Big Brother plus a loved one, and then somehow Kylan and Taylor got to be the exception there. But I am a Taylor fan, so I wasn't too mad at that. But um, just some weird choices, and then ultimately when the season aired, I was like delightfully surprised at some of them. I think there was fun personalities overall. I really enjoyed Izzy and Paige. I think Jag and Jazz were just really wholesome. Um, Joseph and Adam also pretty wholesome, and then a couple others were just fun. It was a fun cast, I think. Um, my biggest problem with the season ultimately is that so much of the standings were very rigid, and they kept not giving too much of a room for it to shake up at points. It would just go in the streak of like, okay, the next all women team's out, next all women team's out. Very predictable. The ones that were in the front were staying in the front. And you had a couple surprises, like the Eric and Tucker one, and then a couple of exceptions. But then we get to the finale, and this is the problem that Amazing Race has, I think, systemically, which is almost every finale. Once you get the final three, they get in, and someone's in the lead, someone's in second, someone's in third. That's pretty much how it stays the whole finale, and there's nowhere even close to the standings shaking up. Once Jag and Jazz were out front, it was just over. A super dominant team though, like and really impressive, tons of first place finishes, um, undeniable in that way. But just really wish there was more shakeups. And then like the twists they injected in, like feeling the need to touch on all these different twists. It's just like I don't think Amazing Race does well with its twists generally. It's either like super OP and that it'll be like completely screwing two teams and making them have like essentially a duel to the death. Um, and mostly it's just whatever teams are doing well, like a double U-turn situation. This was kind of an unconventional one, but most of the time that's like what their twist is. Either that or it's completely inconsequential, or they'll do something which I still think is stupid, which is the fast forward, which just essentially like a team finishes one task. Usually it's whoever leaves first was already in first to begin with. There's never really a competition for it. They finish the task, fast forward, they skip the whole episode essentially. So in this season in particular, Eric and Tucker, they did the Rubik's Cube, and then they just saw themselves out for the episode. I don't think how is that compelling TV at all. Um, they had no competition. They just did a Rubik's Cube by themselves, and then we missed out on their reactions or their involvement in any of the future tasks. And I remember thinking on that episode, like, man, it would have been fun to see Eric and Tucker doing this, but they just skipped the whole thing. Obviously, competition wise, you would want to do that as a player, but at the same time, you're kind of robbing them too of like the experience of a whole country or wherever they're at. I would feel like, okay, cool, we got our first place, we're safe, but like all we did was do a Rubik's cube and we left. So anyway, all that to be said, I still enjoyed it. Like it's still a good, clean, amazing race, and I like there's just something unique about the energy of Amazing Race to where it's never been my favorite reality competition show. It's always had a unique energy to it and just a fun, spirited, um, adventurous aspect to it. Obviously cultural, like appreciating different cultures and cool things like just that you don't know about. Semi-educational, all that. I like all that, and you don't get that from other shows. And that's a constant, even if it's like not the most amazing challenges or the most um crazy shakeups. It's still solid in that way, you know. But as far as Amazing Race seasons go, it was just pretty good, and just amazing. Jag has now a perfect win record, won Big Brother and Amazing Race now. So nice couple of checks for him for sure. Wow. Last thing I want to say is what annoys me with seasons like this is that I got the winner and second place. I got them spoiled very early on into the season. Just like looking at comments on Reddit because he's like, I want to hear what the discourse is, and it's like, boop, spoil. Here's how it ends. I just hate that. And I remember early on, like before the season even aired, I was like just scrolling unrelated stuff, and it would just be like, oh, we got this picture of Angela at the finish line. She doesn't look happy, and like, so I already had an inkling from that she was out early, and then I had gotten spoiled the placement of first and second, and I was just hoping the whole season that somehow it was an incorrect spoiler, but then as the episodes progress, I'm like, it's looking more and more like that's what it's gonna be, and it was. So that's a shame. That's a shame, but yeah, pretty good Amazing Race season. Nothing special, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Let me know your thoughts below on the season, and subscribe to the channel for more on reality TV, film, and television. Thank you.